Miami will have to wait to clinch an MLS Cup playoff spot despite the victory. Lionel Messi had 2 goals and an assist as Inter. Miami CF secured a second consecutive win with a 3-2 victory over DC United on Saturday night, with a short bench and a pair of 2007-born players included in the matchday squad. Miami relied on its veteran core to lead the way. After a shaky start in net by 38-year-old Oscar Ustari, he found his footing and allowed the Herons to play more confidently going forward. The hosts opened the scoring in the 36th minute, when Messi dropped back into space in his defensive half of midfield, before launching a perfect curled long ball up to Tadeo Allende, who made no mistake on a first-touch finish after beating his defender DC. United drew level in the 53rd minute with a goal from former Premier League star Christian Benteke, but the tied scoreline was short-lived. Messi scored his first goal in the 66th minute with a slick turn at the top of the box after a through ball from Jordi Alba, and added his second of the night as Miami's eventual winning goal with a curled strike from distance in the 85th minute. After taking the lead, Miami struggled to defend, with Benteke picking apart the Herons' midfield and threading a pass through to Jacob Merle to bring DC within a goal, albeit too late to grab any points. A win could have helped the Herons clinch an MLS Cup playoff spot, but they will have to wait a while longer, as the New York Red Bulls defeated CF Montreal, and Miami needed a Red Bulls loss or draw. While the postseason assurance will have to wait, Messi surpassed Nashville SC's Sam Surridge for the MLS Golden Boot race, with 22 goals to Surridge's 21. Here are the player ratings from the matchup. It was one of those nights where the skies seemed to hold their breath. A night in Miami where the lights of the stadium glowed just a little brighter, and every heart, on and off the pitch, beat in rhythm with anticipation. The stakes were high. Inter Miami was chasing the dream again, and at the center of it all, Lionel Messi stood, not just wearing the captain's armband, but carrying the pulse of the game, the hopes of a city, and maybe even the soul of the sport. The final whistle blew. Inter Miami 3, DC United 2, but the scoreline, as dramatic as it was, told only a fraction of the story. Because this wasn't just a match, it was a statement, a war cry, a moment that will be carved into the club's history, and Lionel Messi once again left his fingerprint all over it. Coming into this match, Messi was neck and neck in the race for the MLS Golden Boot. He was dazzling, sure, like we've come to expect. But tonight, everything changed. Not only did he deliver when it mattered most, Messi did it with such elegance, timing, and heart that everyone watching knew. We were witnessing greatness in real time. He didn't just take the lead in the Golden Boot standings. He reminded us why football, at its best, is art. And yet Messi, for all his flair and brilliance, wasn't alone in this battle. The match was a symphony of performances, full of courage, mistakes, redemption, and raw emotion. Every player on that Miami pitch had something to prove. Every tackle carried urgency. Every pass, a prayer. From kickoff, DC United came in hungry, determined. There was no intimidation in their eyes, no respect for reputations. They pressed high, physical, aggressive, and within 10 minutes, you could feel it. This wasn't going to be another exhibition where Messi danced through defenders and everyone clapped. No. This was war, and who took the first blow? DC United did, striking with venom as if to say, we're not here to admire, we're here to win. The silence that followed their opener was chilling. The Miami crowd stunned, the players shaken. But not Messi. What unfolded next was classic Messi, a touch of magic, a glimpse of genius, and then revolution. A perfectly timed run into space. A look over before the ball even reached him, and from what looked like an impossible angle, he curled one past the keeper. It was as if time stopped just for a moment, as if the ball fell in love with the net before it even crossed the line. It wasn't just a goal. It was poetry. The stadium erupted, chants, tears, cameras flashing. And Messi? He didn't celebrate wild. He just gestured to the sky, calm, like a man who's done this 1,000 times, yet values it each time like the first. But the game didn't relent. Just as Miami found their rhythm, DC United struck again. A defensive lapse, a loose mark, and suddenly it was 2-1. The disbelief in the Miami defense was written on their faces, eyes searching for answers. You could feel the tide turning against them. like the weight of expectation pressing down harder and harder, and that's when someone unexpected took center stage. 20-year-old Benjamin Cremaschi, the Miami Academy product, raised in Florida, raised in this club. Suddenly he stepped forward with maturity far beyond his years. His movement clever, his touch and composed. And when he received the ball outside the DC box in the 68th minute, you could feel something was coming, the way he looked up, the space he carved. And then, boom, he struck it like he had nothing to lose. The ball sailed, kissed the post, and kissed the net. Goal. 2-2. The celebration wasn't about fame. It was about belonging. About a young kid earning his place. In a team, in a dream, in history. Messi ran to him. Not as a mentor, but as a teammate. A brother. A believer. Then came the crescendo. With the match hanging in limbo and fatigue creeping into everyone's legs, Messi stayed sharp. A moment in the 82nd minute, subtle but transformative. He picked up the ball deep, drifted, danced, drew defenders like planets to a sun. Then that pass, laser-guided. Right to Jordi Alba, sprinting down the flank like a man with something still to say. Alba's cutback was perfect. And, emerging like a shadow from nowhere, Messi again. A first-touch finish. It wasn't flashy, it was surgical, efficient, and it broke DC United's heart. Through 2. Messi had done it. 2 goals. 1 assist. And with that, he officially pulled ahead in the Golden Boot standings. But more than that, he gave Miami another reason to dream. There were heroes all over the field that night. Drake Callender in goal, facing relentless pressure. He made staggering saves when the defense let him down. He kept them alive, over and over. And the way he punched the air after that final whistle? That was a man who knew just how close it had all been. In defense, Serhii Krivtsov had a tough evening, but fought through. Took hard tackles, some misplaced passes, but his leadership, unquestionable, he shouted. He orchestrated. He rallied the line when it felt like chaos. These are the things box scores don't capture, but history remembers. And then there was Sergio Busquets, so often in Messi's shadow, but here his influence was seismic. His calm on the ball, his passes through the press, his ability to make the game breathe, like rain in a fire. When DC tried to overwhelm the midfield, Busquets stood like a seasoned stormwalker, shifting direction, setting tempo, pulling strings. Even Josef Martinez, who came in late, brought fire. Wrestling with defenders, chasing lost causes. His urgency infected the team. Every substitution mattered. Every hand raised on the sideline was another chapter being written. And what about Tata Martino? So often criticized, so often questioned. But his tactical adjustments in the second half were deliberate, brave, and effective. He trusted the youth. He trusted the veterans. And he let Messi be Messi. On the other side, DC United didn't lose because they were bad. They lost because Messi was better. They brought everything: grit, fight, intelligence. Their wingers stretched Miami's defense. Their midfield was combative. But sometimes you can't stop destiny, and that's what this game felt like. Destiny. It felt like one of those nights we'll talk about years from now. When someone asks, when did Messi turn the season around? We'll point to this game, this moment, these 90 minutes. By the time the match ended, Messi walked off slowly, breathing in the night air, shirt drenched, eyes reflective. You could tell as he knows the weight he carries, the expectations, the spotlight. Yet somehow he makes it all look effortless. In a league once criticized for its lack of global attention, Messi is building a cathedral, week by week, game by game. And it's not just about goals, it's about the culture, the belief, the beauty of seeing stadiums sold out, kids wearing pink jerseys, and opponents sharpening themselves because they want to be measured against the best. As he leads the Golden Boot race now, it's not just a trophy in sight, it's legacy, a legacy that stretches from Rosario to Barcelona to Paris to Miami, but always with the same thread, magic, and maybe that's why this match matters more than most. Because in a world full of noise, Lionel Messi keeps giving us moments of silence, moments where we forget everything else, where we just watch, in awe. In reverence, football at its heart is not about scores, it's about stories. And on a sultry night in Miami, Lionel Messi wrote another chapter, not with just a ball, but with his heart.